Hi children, good morning. In last class you learned about the transportation in animals and what are the organs helping in this process, and in the same way how does the materials are transported in plants we are going to discuss in today's class. Okay, so our today's topic is transportation of materials in plants. Transport of materials in plants. So this topic we are going to discuss today, and you know that plants also need water and carbon dioxide and sunlight for making the process of preparing their food. They need all these raw materials, you know very well. And how these materials are transported to the different parts of the plant. Actually, in a plant, the roots are under the soil, right? So with the help of roots, the plant absorbing the water. So the roots are under the soil. The water present between the soil particles, this can be absorbed by a small hair-like structures present on the roots called as root hairs. So these root hairs are helping to absorb the water which is present in between the soil particles. So after absorbing, the water reaches to this root, and from the root it has to be transported, and you all know very well where does the food get prepared in a plant? In leaves, right? So to prepare the food, compulsory they need water. So the water which is absorbed by root hairs has to be transported up to the leaves. Then which organs are performing this function? So here a special tissues are working. Those are known as vascular tissues or connective tissues. These vascular bundles are, we can also call them as connective tissue. Connective means it's connecting from roots to the other parts. It's carrying out or it's transporting the water and other minerals. All this gets transported by this tissue, vascular tissue. That's why it is also called as connective tissue. And you know the meaning of a tissue. The cells which have same structure and function, which cells are performing the same type of function, those all the cells join together and form a tissue. So in such a way, the vascular tissue is formed. The vascular or the connective tissue is formed. So here, especially two types of in plants, two types of vascular tissues or connective tissues present, which are helping in transportation of materials, either from roots, from soil to the top of the plant, or from top of the plant to different parts. That how it is going to take place we'll discuss in detail. So the tissues which are helping in transportation in plants are xylem and phloem. Xylem and phloem are the two tissues which are helping to transport the substances in a plant. Okay. So here, especially from the roots, the water is absorbed by root hairs and is transported to the leaves. So that work is done by the help of xylem tissue. So xylem is helping to conduct the water from roots to the different parts of the plant, especially to the leaves. It's conducting water from roots to the leaves. To understand this, how whether xylem is conducting the water or not, to understand, you can do one small activity. In this activity, you are supposed to take a twig of small twig from a healthy plant. You collect one small twig from a balsam plant. Collect a small twig. If balsam plant is not available, any plant which have white color flowers. So from that white color flower plant, you collect one small twig and arrange this in a beaker. You take water, half of the beaker fill with water, and add some food color, orange food color, red food color, any food color you add to this, or else blue ink also you can add, and keep this twig of balsam or any white color plant twig arrange in this. The end part of the twig should touch to the water, and allow this experiment setup without disturbing for 2 hours. And after 2 hours, when you observe this balsam plant, you can see the red color lines in this stem or in the veins of the leaf. You can see this color whichever you have taken in the beaker. The veins of this leaves appears in that color, and the lines you take, and then remove this twig from the water and take a sharp blade and do nice dissection. Take a small thin piece from this twig. Take the help of your parents while cutting with a blade, and take a thin layer of this twig and arrange on a glass slide. This twig you cut it a small thin piece and arrange on this glass slide, and observe with hand lens. If microscopes available, microscopes won't be at home. If it is there, it's well and good. You can observe under the microscope. If not, you can even see through the hand lens. And a red color swollen parts can be seen in this stem. This red color raisin swollen parts are only xylem tissue. So by this activity we can prove that the xylem is conducting water and minerals from soil to the leaves. Okay, and here a scientific process is helping to conduct the water in this way. That process is known as osmosis. So osmosis process is helping to conduct the water from soil particles to the roots. So how this osmosis process occurs? What's the meaning of osmosis means? Osmosis means the water molecules, wherever the water molecules are more, from the region of higher concentration of water molecules will move to the low area where the water molecule concentration is low. So that process is called osmosis. And you know, around the plant in the soil, the water particles are more. So this water molecules will move inside the roots where the water molecules concentration is less. So to understand this osmosis process, we can also do one more activity here. The other activity to understand osmosis process. So how this osmosis takes place in cells, how it's helping to move the ions in and out, that's we are going to discuss in detail now. That we'll see what's the meaning of osmosis, how it's helping in cells to maintain the structure of a cell. That in detail we are going to discuss now. So the osmosis means movement of ions Osmosis is nothing but movement of ions. Movement of ions from lower concentration to higher concentration. Or else, we can also, to understand this, we'll do one small activity. After that, we'll try to define the meaning of osmosis. Before that, we'll do one small activity. To do this activity, you need one potato. Take a potato and peel out nicely. After peeling out, cut this potato into 2 pieces. Potato peel out and cut into equally 2 parts, 2 pieces you cut it. Do this experiment. All these materials are available in your home. So try to do this experiment and understand the osmosis process clearly. It will help you even in that same topic is there in your class 9. So you have taken a potato, peeled out and you made into 2 equal parts. And down of this potato, cut a small slice because it gives a base and the potato can stand wherever you make it to stand. So bottom of each potato, remove a small slice and from inner side of this potato, remove a small part and make a hole, make like a dish. So it is a potato dish. So 2 potato dishes you take and name them as A and B. Potato dish A and potato dish B. So what we are going to do now, in potato A, you take some salt solution, which is already prepared salt solution I kept ready. So inside this potato dish, you take some salt solution and you arrange this in a bowl which has half filled water. The water should not come to the upper level of potato. It should be only to the medium level of potato. Potato should not immerse in the water. Take care. The water level should be half of the potato. And after pouring the NaCl solution inside the potato, you mark it. Up to which level you poured the NaCl solution, that salt solution, take a pen and mark here. And keep this apparatus without disturbing 2 to 3 hours aside. Understood, children? So we took a bowl and inside that we have taken one potato dish. We made a hole in the potato. We made it to stand in this bowl. And inside this we took NaCl solution. NaCl solution, that's nothing but salt solution. And we arranged the whole of this experiment. We kept this potato inside the water. The water level should be up to the medium level of potato. Potato should not immerse or should not drown in the water. The water should be up to the medium level of potato. And inside here, up to where you have taken sodium salt or salt solution, there you mark with a sketch pen. And let this apparatus to without disturbing for 2 to 3 hours. Understood, children? And then another bowl, in bowl B, also take same way. You take one bowl and inside arrange this potato dish arrange. But here you do one small change. Like this is the potato B. Here what you are supposed to do, inside the potato you take water and in the bowl you take salt solution in the bowl, and inside the potato dish you take water. and arrange this apparatus like this, and without disturbing, keep it for 2 to 3 hours. So are you clear now? Inside the potato we have taken water, and around the potato you took salt solution. Right, children? Then what happens after 2 to 3 hours? You observe, do this experiment, do this practically, you do it at home and observe the changes. I'll give you some clue to you how osmosis is actually taking place. The water molecules, wherever the water molecules are more, we are talking about pot A or experiment setup of A we are talking. Here inside the potato with solution, sodium chloride solution. Outside, water molecules. That means here more water molecules outside the potato dish. Right? So this is also known as dilute solution, because more water wherever it is there, that's known as dilute solution. Even when you are doing practicals in lab, concentrated solution we can make into dilute by adding some water to that, right? So here we have taken dilute solution inside NaCl solution. So now water molecules are more outside. Outside the cell, water molecules are more. So the water molecules move from higher water concentration, higher water molecule concentration to the lower water molecules concentration. Lower water molecule concentration. Higher water molecules are outside the potato, that means outside the cell. This potato you consider as cell here. So water molecules are outside more. You see the osmosis process takes place mainly in the liquids. So when we are talking about liquids, here higher water molecules are there. So from high concentration to low concentration, water molecule movement takes place. So this process only known as osmosis, or even you can also define this as without the water molecules. If you take ions in sodium chloride, which ions are present? Na plus ion, Cl minus ions are there. This is a salt. You learnt in your class 7 in your acid base lesson. Acids will release hydronium ions, H plus ions, and chlorine bases are releasing minus ions. When both react with each other, a salt is formed. This you know very well, right? So you have taken NaCl inside. That means ions are more inside the cell. Ions are less outside the cell. So here ions will move from low concentration to the higher concentration. In this way also you can define the osmosis process. Ions are moving. Ions move from low concentration to higher concentration. Higher concentration known as osmosis. This type of solution. So in this way, the osmosis takes place in plants. With the help of osmosis, the root hairs are absorbing the water from soil particles and conducting water to the different parts of the plant. Along with this, the other process is also taking place in plants, that is transpiration. Transpiration is the another process which is taking place in plants. Transpiration means evaporation of water, excess water from plants. Evaporation of excess water from the plants, and you all know that in leaves the tiny pores are present. We call them as stomata. So this stomata, through the stomata, the water gets evaporated, comes out into the atmosphere. This process is helping to keep the plant cool, and also it's helping to create some pressure. Suction pressure is created by the process of transpiration. You know that the xylem is helping to conduct the water from roots to the leaves. That means the water molecules are traveling against to the gravitational force. You know the gravitational force meaning, you learnt in your physics. So against to the gravitational force, the water molecules are moving. So whenever the transpiration, the water is moving out to the environment, into the atmosphere from the leaves, the water is coming out. So that it's creating a pressure in this stem and it is pulling the water from down to the leaves again. So it's creating some suction pressure because of the transpiration. So the transpiration process is removing of excess water from the leaves, or evaporation process which takes place in leaves known as transpiration. To understand even the transpiration process, you can do one more small activity. Choose any healthy plant in your surroundings, in your home, any potted plant also you can take. And in that potted plant, one healthy leaf you choose. Don't pluck out the leaf. And around the leaf, take a polythene cover and cover this leaf. Tightly tie the cover at the nod, at the petiole of this leaf. And keep this apparatus or let this cover to be at least for one day. And the next day morning, you slowly remove this cover and observe inside the cover you can see some droplets of water. So this water, where does it came? The water molecules are formed because of transpiration process which occurred in the leaves. So in this way, the materials are getting transported in plants. And you all know that the food is essential for us to carry out our life process. In the same way, by using the xylem is conducting water from roots. By using that water, minerals and also sunlight, carbon dioxide, the plant's leaves are preparing food. This already you learnt in lesson number 1. Okay. So after preparing, the food materials from the leaf has to be transported to the remaining parts of the plant. It has to be transported upward direction and even downward direction. The food has to be transported. So in this function also, some tissues are helping. That tissue is known as phloem. Flow, food. So phloem tissue is helping to transport the food. To transport food materials, phloem is helping. To transport water and minerals, xylem is helping. So xylem and phloem together known as conducting tissue. Conducting tissue, or it can also called as connective tissue or vascular tissue. It's also called as vascular tissue, or the connective tissue. We can call them because they are conducting the food and water to different parts of the plant. So in today's lesson, children, you learn how the materials are transported in plants and how does the different activities are helping to understand this content you learn here. And your today's homework is, your home assignment is, write an activity to prove osmosis process. Write an activity to prove the osmosis process which helps for the transportation of water in plants. And you know how to write the activity. 5 points are compulsory. What for you are doing that activity, that is, write the aim for the activity and what materials you are using to do that activity and what procedure you are doing to do that. And finally, your observation. And even draw the diagram near this activity. So this is your today's homework, children. Draw the diagram to prove how does osmosis process helping to transport the materials in plants. Thank you.